I know cooking can feel a little bit intimidating sometimes, especially when you're not a professional chef. At camp, the pressure can feel even bigger. You start thinking that every meal has to be epic, but there's no grocery nearby to grab the ingredient you forgot or to replace that steak that you burned by mistake. And yet, those moments are exactly what make camp cooking unforgettable. That dinner you made on the scuttle high in the Colorado mountains, or those fish tacos you shared with friends somewhere along the Baja Peninsula. Those are the meals that stay with you forever. That's why camp cooking isn't about assembling snacks. It's about creating meals, real memorable meals that become part of the adventure itself. We travel the world to learn, to explore, to feel the embrace of nature. The last travel roads call to us, leading to unknown destinations with no expectation, no specific reason other than the journey itself. We love the nights under open skies, in places far from noise and closer to silence. Out there, we find connection with the wild, where time slows and every moment feels alive. These moments, simple, raw, unforgettable, are why we keep going. But at the end of the day, food becomes one of the most important elements of our adventures. For me and my wife Joyce, every trip begins long before the engine starts or the road unfolds before us. It begins with a plan. Sometimes it's just the two of us. Other times it's with friends or family. We start with the destination, setting our sights on a place we've never been. Then we trace the route, mark the waypoints, and imagine the paths that will take us there. But once that part is done, we turn to what might be our favorite step of all, planning the meals. For us, it's more than logistics. It's a moment of excitement, a conversation that fuels the anticipation of the journey. We think about each day, picture the stove sizzling, the pan heating up, the table set beneath open skies, and the company we'll share it with. Because the truth is, food isn't just part of the adventure, it is the adventure. Being able to cook tasty meals, sometimes elaborate, most of the time simple recipes, is what this is all about. In the end, it doesn't matter if it's a mountain peak, a desert trail, or a hidden forest clearing. What matters is that when the meal is ready, we're together, enjoying something unforgettable in the most remote corners of nature. That's why we travel, that's why we cook, and that's why every adventure begins long before the road and ends around the table. Okay, but where does the inspiration come from for what to cook on the next trip? For my wife, it starts at home, watching our kids. She learns what they love when she cooks for them every day. And then she adapts that knowledge to the outdoors. She thinks about where we'll be camping, what the weather will be like, how much time she'll have before we roll out of camp. And with that in mind, she reshapes her own recipes, turning complex meals into something simple, yet just as delicious. That's her secret. Inspiration comes from home, but is transformed by the road.
No habla nadie.
Big thanks to Onyx Off-Road for sponsoring today's video. Onyx gives me trail maps, difficulty ratings, offline GPS, and campsites so I can explore with confidence and still make it to camp on time to cook dinner. Download the Onyx Off-Road app and use my discount code to save on your membership. It also supports the channel. In my case, I do it a little differently. I go online and see what real cooks are creating. Then I pick up a few recipes I've made before and start building my list of meals. If a new recipe catches my eye, I might try it at camp for the first time if I feel confident. But most of the time, I'd rather practice it at home first and then bring it out to the wild once I know it works. I also pay attention to who's joining me. I try to learn what my friends like, what they don't, and if they have any allergies. That way, when I plan a meal, I'm not just cooking food. I'm making sure everyone feels included at the table.
What are we cooking, Marco?
Some entraña with chimichurri. It's my chimichurri sauce. My wife made it for us a couple of nights ago, and it's really, really good, man. Oh, look at this.
It looks delicious.
It's awesome.
Is it super easy to make?
It's super easy to make. You can make it at camp.
Cooking at home or cooking at camp, in the end, it's basically the same. The same love for food, just with a different vibe and of course different tools. But here's the thing. For me, making a tasty meal at camp is far more satisfying. If you never tried camp cooking, or if you thought it was too difficult, I urge you, give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? You burn something? Just start over. Hit replay and begin again. Because when you finally get it right, when the flavors come together and you watch the face of pure enjoyment on the person tasting your creation, that moment, that feeling has no price. And in the wild, it feels even better. And that's the reason why we travel. That's the reason why we camp. And that's the reason why we cook.
That's really, really good. Just a little bit of spice.